Hi, my name's Dr. Catherine Hughes from Crime Psych. I'm a criminal psychologist and I run a business that enables me to bring knowledge and learning to everyone, not just those who are at university, schools or colleges. And I do this by producing a range of blogs, vlogs and free online courses, but I do also run some slightly more in-depth courses, both online and face-to-face. You don't need any previous qualifications to learn with me, and there are several sections available. So once you finish this video, head on over to my website and see if you can make it to an event or learn online. In today's video, we're looking at false rape allegations. It is true that some lives have been destroyed by false allegations of rape. However, the chances of a false allegation being made are extremely low. False allegations and rape and sexual assault are rare, but they do happen. However, false allegations are no higher than those reported for other types of crimes such as burglary or theft. Those who are victims of other types of crimes are not routinely treated with suspicion, whereas victims of rape can be. Although there are very small numbers of false allegations made, they do occur, and therefore alleged incidents should be taken very seriously and investigated properly. Research has found that when rape allegations are found to be false, the majority of victims don't name a suspect. They're more likely to be vague accusations about a stranger. False allegations tend to be identified very early on in the investigation process, often by an admission from the complainant themselves. Given this, the widespread concern that false allegations are rife, they damage the life and reputation of the innocent, can be misleading. The most detailed study of sexual assault reports to the police was carried out by the British Home Office in the early 2000s. They found that out of 216 complaints that were classified as false, only around 126 had ever gotten to the stage where an accuser lodged a formal complaint. Only 39 complaints named a suspect. Only 6 cases led to an arrest, and only 2 led to charges being brought before they were ultimately deemed to be false. Although it does need to be assumed that in some unknown percentage of cases classified as false actually involve real cases, real rapes. However, what they don't involve is countless innocent men's lives being ruined. The majority of research has found evidence to suggest that even in the rare cases where a man is the subject of a false rape allegation, the chances are that the charges will be dropped before that person ever even learns about the allegations. This raises an obvious question. Why would false accusers go to the trouble of making a report to the police only to instantly withdraw it? Some false accusers do press charges, however, and this brings us to a very disturbing point that must be addressed. That because the real rape victims are often mistaken for false accusers, it can be uncomfortable to insinuate anything negative about either group. But the two groups aren't alike. In fact, victims of rape aren't even a group. They've got no similar or common traits among them. They can be young or old, black or white, men or women, gay or straight, rich or poor, absolutely anyone at all. Even a 65-year-old man can be a victim of rape. When we look at a series of fabricated sexual assaults, on the other hand, patterns immediately begin to emerge. The most striking of these is that almost always adult false accusers who persist in pursuing charges have a previous history of bizarre fabrications or criminal fraud. They're often criminals whose family and friends are also criminals, broken people trapped in chaotic lives. Those who make false allegations may do so for a number of different reasons. They might be motivated by personal gain, such as compensation or out-of-court settlement. Accusers motivated by personal gain have typically made similar previous complaints. For example, they may have falsely claimed on an insurance or forged cheques for personal gain. False accusers commonly have a history of claims where a monetary gain was made. Others may make false accusations because of a mental health issue. Severe psychosis could lead to a person claiming that they've been raped. They may have disorders such as a fractious disorder. Fractious disorder symptoms involve mimicking or producing illnesses or injury or exaggerating the symptoms or the impairments to intentionally deceive other people. People with the disorder go to great lengths to hide their deception. One such case is that of a lady called Sarah Illen from Michigan. She made several allegations of rape, kidnap and abuse. She was finally arrested after she arrived at a police station claiming that she'd been raped, with her face painted in fake bruises which wiped off easily with a piece of gauze. Illen also falsely claimed to have a terminal illness and spent 2 years in a hospice for cancer care, but no doctor had ever diagnosed her with that disease. Some of those who make false allegations of rape might be seeking revenge against a person that they're accusing. However, that is relatively rare reason for a false allegation to be made. Examples of that kind of motivation could include accusing somebody who hurt or harmed them in some way, or stole something from them, or they might have been promised money or goods or drugs in exchange for sex which wasn't delivered, or an ex-partner might be accused. Some false rape allegations or false sexual assault allegations are made as an alibi, as a form of an alibi for the accuser. These accusers might be teens, for example, who've broke a curfew time and wish to avoid being punished. They might make accusations to cover up some form of infidelity that they've been caught. They may have been caught in compromising situations, and they may later say that they were forced into that position. When false charges are brought in these types of cases, the driving force is often a third party who believes the lie that the accuser has said and naturally wants to see the perpetrator punished. A major study into the reasons behind false rape allegations found that the false claims reflect impulsive and desperate efforts to cope with personal and social distress. 3 categories of false accusations were found in that study. They were providing an alibi, seeking revenge, and obtaining sympathy and attention. The evidence on false rape allegations fails to support the public anxiety that untrue reporting is common. While the statistics on false allegations vary, most often refer to rape and sexual assault, but they're all consistently low. Research from the Home Office suggests that only around 4% of cases of sexual violence reported in the UK are found to be false or suspected to be false. Studies carried out around Europe and in the US indicate rates of about 2 to 6% of false rape allegations. It's important to recognise that even official statistics on false reporting can have been inflated by other factors. Sometimes the police record cases as a no crime or unfounded, and that can happen when it's difficult to obtain sufficient evidence. However, there's a big difference between not being able to prove in court that an offence happened and claiming that that allegation was false. Sometimes people may contact the police because they're worried that a crime might have been committed. Sometimes these concerns are brought to the police by a friend, relative, or a partner. Sometimes people even contact the police themselves because they have no memory of a period of time and are worried that something might have been done to them. People in these situations often express relief when the results of medical examinations show that there's no evidence of an assault or a rape. These are not false allegations. Despite this, There hasn't always been a way of distinguishing between these cases from false complaints when logging incidents as a no crime. Making a false allegation of rape or sexual assault is a crime and should be punished accordingly. These claims are often brought by people who are usually guilty of other types of crimes for similar reasons, such as the monetary gain that I mentioned earlier. False rape allegations are not usually made as a result of miscommunication or lack of memory because of drinking. False accusers almost never tell stories that could be seen as innocent misunderstandings. In a study of false rape claims made to the Los Angeles Police Department, 78% of the false reported rapes involved claims of aggravated rape assaults involving a gun or knife or gang rape or attacks resulting in bodily injuries. Most of all, it should be remembered that a false accuser is a person making up a story to serve some goal. Whether the goal of that is personal gain, revenge, mental illness, it's crucial to the accuser that their story is taken seriously. For this reason, it's highly unlikely that a false accuser would invent a story where the issues of consent could seem ambiguous. The same kinds of people who are most likely to become false accusers are also frequently targeted by predators. For example, teenagers, people with severe mental illnesses, people with criminal records are all vulnerable to rapists. These rapists will often have a very keen sense of which victims are most likely to be mistrusted by authorities. Although the accounts of these complaints should be carefully investigated, police should take them seriously. Any accusation of rape or sexual assault should be believed until there is evidence to the contrary. False allegations are extremely rare and highly unlikely to conclude by putting an innocent man in jail. In the majority of false rape allegations, no convictions are made. If a woman without any history of dramatic falsehoods says that she went home with a man and after they'd kissed a while consensually, he held her down and forced her into having sex, in the absence of any compelling evidence to the contrary, you should assume that that claim is true. This isn't because of any political statements such as we should believe women is true. It's because this story looks exactly like tens of thousands of date rapes that happen every year and nothing at all like a false rape allegation. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I do hope that you've learned something from it. If you have been affected by any of the issues in this video, you can find links to support websites in the video description. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.